Hi students, I am Dr. M. Ashram Majroo, Professor of Community Medicine. I welcome you in the learning session of Global Health Agenda in the Past and Future. This is the second lecture of International Health Series. Before today's discussion, I will like to recap the previous talk on global health evolution. The diseases never care for any geographical, social, and cultural boundaries, but the economic disparities may pose threat to equitable access to health care. Epidemics and natural calamities were the natural fear factors for the unification of people world over. People need code of ethics regulation to prevent the communicable diseases. WHO is legitimate forum for coordination and action in case of public health emergency of international concern, epidemics and pandemics worldwide. WHO is determinedly pursuing the goals and targets for health set in the past and reiterating the future health concerns. So let's have the highlights of today. The WHO dimension and philosophy of health, global health agenda in the past and future, health for all by the year 2000 and primary health landmark in global health, MDGs Millennium Development Goals 2001 to 2015, Sustainable Development Goals 2016 to 2030. So let us discuss the agenda one by one. First, the WHO dimension and philosophy of health. As stated in the preamble of the Constitution, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of the disease and infirmity. The further elaborated in the preamble, the enjoyment of highest attainable standards of health is one of the fundamental rights of every human being, without distinction of race, religion, political beliefs, economic or social conditions. The health of all the people is fundamental to attain of peace and security and is dependent on the fullest cooperation of individuals and the states. The unequal development in different countries in the promotion of health and control of diseases, especially communicable diseases, is common danger. So these four basic principles, they are elaborated in the preamble of the Constitution of WHO, and this is the main driving source for the philosophy of health. The WHO definition of health elaborates three dimensions, basically the physical dimension, the social dimension, and the mental well-being. In physical well-being, the essential is free from sickness and having the better health and to enjoy the positive health according to the highest genetic potential. Then in social well-being includes the social harmony, social justice, basic needs, decent living, education. And in mental well-being, realization of own ability, cope with the normal life stresses, and work productively is the essential for mental health. If we talk about the new social dimensions of the philosophy of health elaborated in the Constitution, health is recognized as fundamental right of every individual, and health is essential for socially and economically productive life. Health is recognized as basic human need, and health is taken as considered as social investment. The health includes the quality of life without disabilities. The health is a worldwide social goal as recognized in the Constitution, and health is the peace and security. So these are the new philosophy depicted in the Constitution of World Health Organization. If we talk about the global health in the past and future, here we are in 2020 and we have the way forward agenda in the form of a millennium sustainable development goal from 2016 to 2030. And this agenda includes the leftover agenda of millennium development goal and the way forward in the form of sustainable development goal. If we trace back the landmark, there are the Millennium Development Goals, which are covering the global health agenda from 2001 to 2015, and it is the continuation of the Health for All by the year 2000 and the added agenda in the form of Millennium Development Goal. And if we further go back, there is a landmark in the September 1978, the International Conference on PHC and HFA goal, Health for All by the year 2000. This is the in the form of Alameda Declaration, and this is the big landmark in the history of global health. And in the past, after the establishment of WHO, after the functioning of WHO, the achievements were the international sanitary regulation were approved in 1951, and international health regulation were drafted and approved, including the quarantine in 1960. So these are the landmark in the global health agenda of the past and future. If we go chronologically in the global health events, the global health agenda in the past includes the efforts on control of communicable diseases and eradication of smallpox in 1946 and 1977. This also includes the efforts on the population development activities. Then HFA 2000 goal in 1978 after the Alameda Declaration. It includes the selective primary health care through vertical program, comprehensive primary health care through health systems, and Ottawa Charter for Health Promotion. The Millennium Development Goals have the carryover agenda of Health for All and the added new goals and targets from 2001 to 2050. Then Sustainable Development Goals, Health Agenda for the Future. It includes the leftover agenda of Millennium Development Goals and new goals and target for the future. Then there are the environmental degradation issues which were addressed in the Millennium Development Goals, Sustainable Development Goals and Millennium Development Goals. Similarly, the sustainable use of resources, these are the underlying factor for the health. So let us see the events. If we talk about 1946 to 1977, there was selected focus on control of major infectious diseases, prevention, treatment, eradication of specific targets, international sanitary regulation was approved in this era. Then remarkable successes were in this era, that is the eradication of smallpox and reduction of polio, measles, cholera and tetanus. And there were some failures regarding the malaria eradication program. The malaria eradication was then converted into rollback malaria program because there were certain reasons due to which the malaria eradication was taken back. The limited progress in making basic health care widely available Hospital-based health systems were fragmented and expensive and did not meet the needs of the poor or those people who are living in the rural areas. These were the constraints. Then health for all by the year 2000. Let's talk about the PHC as a landmark in the global health. And the International Conference on Primary Healthcare was held under the WHO with the collaboration of UNICEF in Alameda, USSR from 6 to 12 September 1978. The key decision of the conference was framed in the form of Alameda Declaration and implemented by WHO from 1978 to 2001 and onward. What were the key points of reaffirmation of the declaration? In the declaration, conference reiterated the health, which is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely absence of disease or infirmity, and it was taken as fundamental human right, irrespective of capability to pay for it. The attainment of the highest possible level of health is most important worldwide social goal is reiterated by the Alameda Declaration. The existing gross inequalities in health status of the people, particularly between the developed and developing countries as well as within the countries, is politically, socially, and economically unacceptable, and is therefore of the common concern to all the countries. Governments have the responsibility for the health of their people, which can be fulfilled only by the provision of adequate health and social measures. PHC is the key intervention in the spirit of social justice. So these are the reaffirmations of the reiterations of the conference, and this was the agenda put forward for implementation. So what is health for all? Attainment of all the people of the world of a level of health that will permit them to lead socially and economically productive lives. This is the HFA goal. The key feature of HFA 2000 goal, it is decided by World Health Assembly in May 1977. It is worldwide goal and initially set up to 2000, and it is based on health as a basic human right. And the reason was the economic disparities imposed threat to the health of the poor people. There is assurance of socially and economically productive life in this goal. What is the real meaning? Does it mean nobody will get sick or disabled by the year 2000? Certainly, it is not the meaning. And does it mean the doctor and nurses will provide medical care to everybody? This is also not the meaning, because there are many social factors, the underlying factors for the health that are need to be fulfilled, and therefore the social elements must be considered. Then does it mean the reorientation and restructuring of healthcare services towards the goal and targets of HFA on the laid down principle of equity? Certainly yes. On the basis of equity, the health must be accessible to every individual irrespective of his capability to pay for it. What is PHC? Essential healthcare is based on scientifically sound and socially acceptable methods that must be universally accessible, economically affordable, and must be achieved through the participation of the community. So this is the PHC. Now, what it is, the PHC services, they are based on the principle of equity, based on prevention and promotion of the health and community participation, informed choices, and use of appropriate and cost-effective technology, and achieved through the intersectoral coordination. So this is the PHC. Now it is important to learn about the HFA framework. The HFA framework consists of a goal, HFA goal 2000, that is attainment of all the people of the world of a level of health that will permit them to lead socially and economically productive lives. So, how this this socially and economically productive life will be achieved? A package of intervention was proposed in the Alameda Declaration, and this package of services is known as PHC, and this includes the control of communicable diseases and maternity and child health services and family planning, availability of essential medicines, treatment of common ailments, nutritional counseling and provision of essential nutrients, immunization against the common prevalent communicable diseases, and health education. So this is the package through which the socially and economically productive lives level have to be achieved. The principle again reiterated the equity, community participation, intersectoral coordination, health promotion are informed choices, appropriate technology. So, what ultimately have to be achieved in the form of outcome or impact, that is the attainment a level of health that enable to lead economically and socially productive life. So, this is the PHC framework, and most of the achievement of the primary health care are under this framework. Now, implementation strategy of primary health care, the financial and technical assistance was provided by World Health Organization, and low income countries were exempted to contribute to the cost of PHC services. Health systems were not developed to deliver the PHC package in the developing countries at up to the grassroots levels. Then it was decided to implement the selective primary health care of PHC component through vertical programs or known as special programs. The selective approach was adopted for immunization against communicable diseases like EPI expanded program of immunization, maternity and child health program for antenatal, natal and postnatal services, diarrhea and malnutrition. There were more vertical programs we will mention in the forthcoming slides. Here we can have the comparison of selective versus comprehensive approach for PHC. The selective approach, mainly this strategy was before the 2000, and only the selected component of primary health care are implemented. While on the other hand, in comprehensive, main strategy were after 2000, and all component of PHC are implemented in comprehensive PHC. Single task is targeted in fixed budget and time bound. Multiple tasks are integrated through and ongoing system. It is ongoing system. Emergency measures need no structural changes in health system, but in the comprehensive health system is strengthened to implement the PHC component. International and donor dependency is the drawback, and the programs are usually unsustainable after their life. And the comprehensive PHC is based on self-reliance and sustainable system based on own resources and reliance of the states. These are implemented through the programs known as vertical program, and this is through the healthcare delivery system and known as integrated health services. Now, what is vertical versus integrated program? In vertical program, single health problem is targeted, selected and targeted. Parallel infrastructure is developed from top to bottom. Budget is allocated and time is fixed. And this is the example in Pakistan, ARI malaria control program, EPI control program. Before 1985, they were all vertical programs. Integrated programs, multiple activities are carried out, already developed health infrastructure, delivers the health services, no separate organization setup. Budget is lump sum or one line budget activities, and the activities are ongoing. After 1985, the EPI program was integrated into the regular routine healthcare delivery system and the reproductive health. Uh, this is the example in Pakistan, and in many developing countries, the vertical programs were later on integrated into the comprehensive programs through the integrated health services in the countries. UNICEF and WHO collaborated vertical programs. These are very important. The major program is GOBI. In GOBI program, there was growth monitoring, oral rehydration therapy, and breastfeeding, immunization through expanded program of immunization. So two areas are targeted. One is the mostly the nutrition and other is the communicable diseases. And this was more supplemented later by triple F vertical programs. They are the family planning, female education and food supplementation. So regarding these vertical and vertical programs, the implementation of PHC needed health infrastructure which were initially not available up to the grassroots levels. Before 2000, the components were implemented mostly through the vertical programs. After 2000, there was policy shift and PHC is now mostly initiated through the integrated programs. Health system strengthening programs were started for the implementation of all components of primary health care. Now, what were the impacts of primary health care? There was a reduction in mortality and morbidity, especially infant mortality and maternal mortality. Increase in life expectancies. There were life expectancy in Pakistan nearly falling in 45 to 50, but now it is near 65. Marked increase in immunization coverage and a reduction in vaccine preventable communicable diseases, increase access to clean water and sanitation, decrease in malnutrition and poverty, and initiation of struggle for health infrastructure development. So these were the impact of primary health care. There were remarkable achievement of PHC program. Then continuation of PHC in 2000 century. WHO in his declaration has reiterated to continue the primary healthcare services in the 21st century. What they have reiterated in declaration, WHO in 51st WHA World Health Assembly recalling the resolution WHO World Health Assembly 4816, recognizing the report Health for All in 21st century as a framework for the development of the future policies. So the future policies are based on health for all in 21st century. Member state of WHO reaffirm the commitment to principle in its constitution. The enjoyment of higher sustainable standard health is one of the fundamental right of every human being. In doing so, we affirm the dignity and worth of every person and the equal rights, equal duties, and shared responsibility of all for health. So, this is the reaffirmation of World Health Declaration for the continuation of PHC in 21st century. Now, for comprehensive PHC, the reform agenda was put forward and it includes the universal coverage reforms to improve the health equity, service delivery reforms to make the health system people-centered, leadership reforms to make health authorities more reliable, public policy reforms to promote and protect the health of the community. So this is the comprehensive PHC reform agenda for the 21st century. Then policy shift in 21st century focus from diseases to the underlying factors, the structural and managerial reforms, devolution and decentralization of the health services, assessment of health needs, health system research, community participation, and health system strengthening. So these were the policy shift. Then in 21st century, the global health agenda was translated in the form of Millennium Development Goals from 2001 to 2015. PHC in the Millennium Development Goals, we will see what is the leftover agenda of PHC in the Millennium Development Goal and what are the new things. If we see the PHC leftover agenda at 2000 plus the social and environmental factor influencing the health. As I have already explained previously that there was shift over the underlying factors. These are the underlying factors which are addressed in the Millennium Development Goal plus the PHC. Now, what are the PHC? PHC are the eradication of extreme poverty and hunger, universal primary education, gender equity for women and women empowerment, reduction of under 5 mortality by 2/3 and reduction of maternal mortality by 3/4, and to combat the HIV/AIDS, malaria and other diseases, to ensure the sustainable environment, number 7, and number 8, to make the global partnership for development. So if we look at these highlighted areas, the eradication of extreme poverty and hunger, the gender equity and women empowerment, reduction in under 5 mortality, reduction in maternal mortality to combat HIV and malaria and other diseases, these 5 highlighted Millennium MDGs, they carry the agenda of primary health care. So we can safely say that there is a continuation of primary health care and it is addressed through the Millennium Development Goals. Now if we conclude the achievement of the MDG related to health, there were 2 MDGs related to health, one for the child health and other for the maternal health. MDG 4, if we see the global number of deaths of the children under 5 years, they were reduced from 12.7 to 6 million from 1990 to 2015. The other indicator for the coverage of immunization, the global measles vaccine coverage, it was improved from 73% to 84% 2 years below the Millennium Development Goal end line. Now, if we compare the MDG progress in Pakistan in 2015, we will see that out of the 6 targets, the 5 targets were off track and one was achieved. And those were off track. They were the under 5-year mortality rate. This was the national target, and this was the national achievement, and this was the target. Similarly, infant mortality was standing on 74 while the target was 40, and proportion of fully immunized children, the finding was 80, and the target was more than 90, and proportion of under 1 year immunized against measles, 81 was the finding, and the target was more than 90. Similarly, lady health worker coverage was 83% while the target was 100%. So this is the summary of the achievement. Having said that, I will say that even if we have not achieved exactly the set target, but there is a remarkable improvement in the health indicators, and the leftover agenda is again depicted in the Sustainable Development Goals. Similarly, goal achievement for MDG 5, that is the maternal health, the global maternal mortality ratio, death per 100,000 live births, they were from 330 to 210, they were reduced in 2013, while it was 380 in 1990. On the other hand, if we see the other indicator, global birth attended by skilled birth personals, it was improved from 59 to 71 from 1990 through 2014. So, if we see this MDG 5 in Pakistan, the indicators were all the 5 targets, they were off track. And here this was the national assessment, 276 maternal mortality ratio, and the target was 140. Similarly, the proportion of birth attended by SPA, the target was more than 90. It was falling on 52, far behind the target. And similarly, this is also having large gap in the target and the achievements. The contraceptive prevalence rate, total fertility rate is also on a wide gap from the target. Similarly, proportion of women 15 to CBA given birth 3 years and received 1 ANC consultation, that is also there is wide gap. So there are wide gaps, but there are improvement from 2001 to 2015. Now the Sustainable Development Goal, after the Millennium Development Goal, the future targets are in the form of Sustainable Development Goal from 2016 to 2030. The Sustainable Development Goal, again, the unfinished agenda of Millennium Development Goal plus the sustainable development in the social, economic and environmental sector. So if we see the Sustainable Development Goal, these are 17 goals, and they are classified into environmental, social development goals, sustainable development goals and economic goals. If we see, and that is why I say that the shift was from the diseases to the underlying causes. These goals are addressing the underlying causes. Environmental goal include goal number 6, 7, 13, 14 and 15. On the other hand, social SDG include 1, 3, 4, 5, 11, 16 and 17. The three goal has the health targets. Economic SDG are 2, 8, 9, 10 and 12. So these three areas for the sustainable development, they are covered in these 17 goals. Let us further analyze these goals as sustainable development goals. These goals are no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth. The goal number 9 is the industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climatic action, life below water and life on land, peace and just strong institutions, partnership to achieve the goals. So these are 17 goals. If we look on the Millennium Development Goals, these are 6 goals which are the same, having the same targets, having the same agenda, that is the Millennium Development Goal. Similarly, this covers the sustainable environment, which is also included in Millennium Development Goals, and the 17, the partnership to achieve the goal, is also the MDG. So out of these 17, about 8 goals are included. Those are the Millennium Development Goals. So this is the continuation of the leftover agenda of the Millennium Development Goal, plus the Sustainable Development is included in the Sustainable Development Goals. Now we specifically look into the details of the target which are set for the health, and the health related goal is goal 3, which is named as good health and well-being. Under this, the target for 2030 are to reduce the global maternal mortality ratio to less than 70 per 100,000 live births, and preventable deaths of newborn and children under 5 years of age, with all countries aiming to reduce neonatal mortality at least low as 12 per 1,000 live births. The under 5 mortality at least as low as 25 per 1,000 live births. So these are the targets for morbidity reduction in Sustainable Development Goal 3. Then more health goals in the targets in this, the end the epidemic of AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, neglected tropical diseases, and to combat hepatitis, waterborne diseases and other communicable diseases. To reduce by 1/3 premature mortality from non-communicable diseases through prevention and treatment, and promote mental health and well-being. And further, the targets strengthening of the prevention and treatment of substances abuse, including narcotics, drug abuse, and harmful use of alcohol. Ensure universal access to sexual and reproductive health care services, including for the family planning, information and education, and integration of reproductive health into national strategy and programs. Achieve universal health coverage, including financial risk protection, accessible to quality essential healthcare services, and access to safe, effective, quality, and affordable essential medicine and vaccine for all. Substantially reduce the number of deaths and illnesses from hazards of chemicals and air, water, and soil pollution and contaminations. So these are the targets set in the health under the Sustainable Development Goal 3, which is translating the health. Then emerging challenges in global health includes the epidemics and pandemics. They are still a great threat to humanity. Air pollution, environmental degradation, global warming, ozone depletion, deforestation, species extinction, globalization, economic disparities. As I have already explained, all these issues, they are addressed in the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, what is the conclusion of this session? The global health goals and targets are driving force and way forward for equitable healthcare in world. Periodic monitoring of health goals and target is essential for the accountability and planning for future. HFA, PHC, MDGs and SDGs have remarkable impact on quality of life and life expectancies throughout the world, especially in the developing countries. The global alliances are the essential for the universal access to affordable and equitable health care. Epidemics are great threat to international travel and trades that necessitates the implementation of international health regulations. So this is all about this session, and thank you very much for listening. And for any queries, you can contact me on the given mail. Thank you very much.